Coming up, Only News 3 talks with the outgoing superintendent as he prepares to leave Madison.
Dan Nerad's final year in Madison has been tough, with budget uncertainty and controversy over the district's achievement gap. Good evening, I'm Eric Franti.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. First tonight at 10, Nerad tells us the biggest challenge to the district going forward. But first, here's how we got to this point. Back on March 26th, Nerad announced that he was resigning from the Madison Metro School Board.
The next day, we learned he was a finalist for a job in Omaha, Nebraska, which we learned the next week he did not get that job in Nebraska. On May 31st, Nerad interviewed in the Detroit suburb of Birmingham, Michigan, and was offered that job on June 11th.
His replacement begins Monday, and his last day with MMSD is July 27th. Only News 3's Theo had a one-on-one interview with Nerad.
Sarah, Nerad will help interim superintendent Jane Belmore get up to speed starting Monday, but Nerad spent a lonely last year as the head of the district. The superintendent cited four-year-old kindergarten and finding budget solutions as his biggest successes, but he also admits there were shortcomings.
Issues today are challenging, and sometimes you can work through things with success, and sometimes things can't work out. And I've been part of things that can't work out and haven't worked out, and you have personal regret about those kinds of things.
What do you think is the greatest challenge going forward for the school district as you're leaving it?
I think the greatest challenge is to ensure that all kids and their learning continue to advance. And at the same time, so that means that our kids that are achieving real well, we need to nurture their development. I've tried to be supportive of that need. At the same time, we need to eliminate these achievement gaps.
There's no doubt that minority kids have fallen behind, maybe continue to fall behind as well. Why is that?
Well, first of all, there's no greater social justice issue in our country than this issue. And with increasing poverty in this community and school district, there's no greater disequalizer, especially when you look at how it can affect kids in their early learning. And those kinds of things the school district cannot address alone.
Do you feel like some of the community have made you the scapegoat on this issue?
These gaps were not of Dan Nerad's making in and of them itself, but I have to accept responsibility. I am the superintendent of schools, and so people need to have a place to go to be upset about, and I don't think that that it's inappropriate for people to be upset about this issue. My wish in going forward that it's not about who's the superintendent or who's upset. It's about developing a collective direction and people working together.
There's obviously a school of thought that you may share that we either fund education up front or we build more prisons later on.
Well, I do agree with that view very much in terms of priority needs to be placed on investing in education. I wish I could feel a greater sense of optimism in leaving around that. This has been a very difficult time politically over the past couple of years, and it's going to take people to rise above the fray and to say, I respect you have a different view, but let's work together to serve children in this state. I hope that can happen.
Now, interim Jane Belmore will not be asked to make major changes when she starts as the head of the district. School board members have agreed she should essentially mind the ship. An outside search firm is budgeted to spend $75,000 looking for a permanent replacement, likely by spring 2013. We have put the entire interview with Dan Nerad online at channel3000.com.
And he certainly gives us a lot to think about.
He does,
moving forward. Thanks so much, Theo.
You bet.